The video version of my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. Come on in, kings and queens, and welcome to the conversation. You're watching my journal on several platforms. I'm on YouTube and Facebook Live and LinkedIn and Twitter. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you to my new subscribers. I won't be on here for long because I do have I'm on a tight schedule today, but I do know that probably by now you've seen that cop cam video and the other videos of the Grand Rapids police officer who used unwarranted deadly force and shot Patrick Lyoya in the back of his head. That happened on Monday, April 4th. The Grand Rapids Police Department just released the video on April 13th, and Lyoya was pinned to the ground, unarmed when it happened, and no charges have been filed against that Grand Rapids police officer as of Easter Monday, and it could be months, if ever, before any charges are filed. The police chief in Grand Rapids, his name is Eric Winstrom. Apparently, he's supposed to be, he was a commander in Chicago. And that is another story altogether, how these killer cops, bully, liar, killer cops, they go from one jurisdiction to the next jurisdiction doing the same thing, and victimizing and bullying people in their communities. They don't live in the communities where they police and patrol, but they come into our neighborhoods and bully us and then kill us and then lie about it. Okay, so they move around. And I also told you about another story where was a police commander in Detroit who moved to Columbus, Ohio. And so it's just a round robin of these people who keep taking them out of one area, putting them in the next. So let's back to this story. Police Chief Eric Winstrom is withholding the identity of that killer cop in Grand Rapids. They put him on paid leave of absence, so he's on a paid leave while they investigate, quote unquote. And the video, apparently there are 3 videos of this incident where 26-year-old Congolese refugee Patrick Lyoya lost his life. It was taken from him. There's the cop cam video that apparently they said stopped working in the middle of the incident. There's the witness video that was recording when the cop didn't know it was recording. And then there's apparently a Ring doorbell video of the neighbor or area where they were in. A Ring door video picked it up. Y'all, these Ring door videos make me want to get one. Some of my neighbors have them. But I know you're sick. I know you're sad. I know you're angry. I know you're tired of seeing Black men exterminated for the simplest of offenses, if any offense at all, during law enforcement interaction. This cop, this time the cop claimed that Lyoya's license plate didn't match the vehicle that he was driving in at the time. And so that doesn't explain why he initially stopped Lyoya. Maybe this cop, I know they have these programs, or these, I guess is the best way to put it, where they can automatically, as you drive by, it gives them information about the vehicle passing by. And maybe he had one of those programs going where it tells you the license tag and the car so they can see, does it match? I don't know. All I know is this cop used deadly force when it wasn't warranted. And one look at that video will let you know it proves that Patrick Lyoya's civil rights were violated, and this cop overreacted and shot him in the back of the head without warrant. There was no warrant for deadly force. There was none. It doesn't matter if you're running. away. It doesn't matter if your hands are up. It doesn't matter if you're standing there. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your house eating ice cream. It doesn't matter if you're in your apartment asleep behind locked doors. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your vehicle minding your own business. These cops are on a mission, some of them, to end your life. They got targets on the backs of Black men, and we need to do something about it. What I learned a long time ago is that people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And so the question becomes, what are we going to do to demand that we stop being, that our people, that our Black men, our Black women, our Black boys, our Black girls stop being the targets that these bully, liar, killer cops are focused on. That needs to be our focus. So before we go any further, I was scheduled to have as a guest on the show today attorney Malik Shabazz, national president of the Black Lawyers for Justice. And also, he's the chairman of the National Black Panthers, the new Black Panther Party. Maybe he'll show up before I close out, and maybe not. But at any rate, we got to keep it moving. We have to do what we have to do, and we have to ask the questions that need to be asked. So let's look at this video, and the video is coming from the family, Lyoya's family attorney, attorney Ben Crump, his Instagram. So we want to give him credit for coordinating with the witness. This video is the witness that was in the car with Patrick Lyoya at the time. So I'm going to bring that in. We're going to look at it. It's only a few minutes, and then we'll talk about it.
Let go, taser! Drop taser! Get back!
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there, and we can certainly look at that. And then I apologize for not telling you that it was going to be graphic, but we, said in the beginning, it was, we're talking about the Patrick Lyoya shooting video, and of course, with shots being fired and a man being dead, it's going to be graphic. So I apologize for not telling you in advance, saying that in advance, but it was graphic. It basically showed the murder, the death of this guy. And hey, welcome to the conversation. And so here's what I see in that video. And I want to ask this question before. Well, let's go to what I saw in the video. I saw a cop that was yelling out stuff. They try to create a narrative of what they want other people in the area to hear in case they're confused about what they're seeing. You will hear them screaming, "Stop, put the taser down, put the taser down." Okay, apparently, according to what had already been said, the taser had been deployed twice already. Now, although I don't know how many times a taser can be deployed before it is deemed to be useless, one thing's for sure, that in the position that Lyoya was on the ground, there was no way he could have been using a taser against the police officer. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, the taser is supposed to be a non-lethal form of subduing a subject. So why all of a sudden, off of a taser that you deployed twice, probably is no good at this point. Now you're screaming out, let's tase go, let's tase go. Like all of a sudden it's about the taser. So in case people are listening, they're like, oh, he had a taser and was trying to hurt the cop. That's just something that these cops do and people do to create a narrative. One. Number two, so I could see how the video might, the cop cam video might have, just responding. I can see how the cop cam video might have fallen off or malfunction or whatever in the tussle. I could see how that could happen. So I'm not going to question that that didn't happen, but it conveniently happened right there. And then conveniently it started working again after police and paramedics arrived. It conveniently started working after that. That's number two. Number three, so this cop didn't realize that he was being videotaped by the witness until after the shooting. And when he realized that, now it's, oh, stay back, stay back. Okay, the dude or the person, let's say the person who was recording wasn't moving. We could see that based on the video that it wasn't moving. He wasn't moving. So that means, why are you like hollering out, stay back, stay back? Nobody's moving right now. Okay. It was only based on the video and everything that we know. There was nobody but those three people: the cop, the dead Patrick, and the alive witness that was not moving, because we could see from his video that he was not moving. So these are, it's telling me that they already come up with scenarios, they already practice certain drills that in certain terminology that puts everything on their side. And as you can see now, the cop has one, his identity has not been released. We might never know it unless he's charged, because apparently Michigan is a state whereby they don't have to release the name of the police officer involved unless they are charged. And they probably won't be charged unless he is fired. Okay, which he should be. He should be fired, because that was not police protocol what he did, tussling with somebody and they face down and you shoot them in the back. That's not how it's done. Okay, that's how they do it, but that's not how it's supposed to be done. So you're watching, if you haven't already, be sure to like, share, and subscribe so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first to know. So we're talking about that video with Patrick Lyoya and him getting shot in the back of the head by the police officer in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And so let me turn this to what I think we need to do, because like I said, when I learned a long time ago that people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And it's evident to me, and has been for a long time, that some law enforcement, if they have, and some people, they disregard us, they disrespect Black life, they disrespect African Americans, Black people in America, people of color, whatever we want to call ourselves. They disrespect us because they keep getting away with disrespecting us. It's like a bully in high school. Bully gonna keep being a bully until you whoop that bully's ass. Okay. And then you let the bully know, I'm not to be played with. And then the bully will go on messing with you. Okay. So that's what needs to happen. And what we need to determine as a group of people is what is going to be that message, that whoop the bully's ass message, that lets them know we are not to be dealt with like this, because there are consequences and repercussions. Okay. So, if you look back towards the civil rights movement in the 50s and 60s, it was all about certain organizations that were fighting on the behalf of Black people in America. And so I'll name a few. That was the NAACP, that's the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. That name in itself tells you that they're about at least 50, 60 years old. Okay. You got the National Urban League, you got the Southern um, Coalition, what is it, SNCC, Southern National Nonviolent Coordinating Commission. Sorry, so many uh so many, what's the word, I forgot. Anyway, because I'm trying to hurry and give a succinct message, so I apologize if I'm like disjointed, but just trying to put some stuff out here. That you've got these organizations that still are in existence today, they don't have a problem asking you for your money. They don't have a problem asking you for your vote for their candidates. They don't have a problem wanting your donations. But it seems to me that the same things are continuing to happen in our communities. And we have to ask ourselves, why are we continuing to support organizations and support people, whether they're political or activists or what have you, or organizations that and nothing has changed, or at least it's happening so slowly that we still, it's like, what's a good analogy? It's like you've got a leak in your pipes and you are working on the problem. You got a plumber coming in Friday, but today is Monday and you losing gallons of water. In the meantime, you need to come up with a better plan. So that's my best analogy right here on the spot. We are losing millions of lives. We're losing hundreds of people. Every other week, we got somebody shot and killed by a bully ass, crooked killer cop coming up with all kinds of excuses as to why they had to end our lives. Blood is being spilled, people's lives being lost, generations are being lost. But we giving to the NAACP. We giving to that. We giving to this. We giving our donation. It's like, y'all, you know what? Don't ask me for no money. Don't ask me. I'm just all out on the donations and the well wishes of these some of these organizations. And that's why I wanted to talk with Attorney Malik Shabazz today. He's national president of the Black Lawyers for Justice, to talk to them about what is their agenda and how are they making a change or wanting to bring about a change. He's also the chairperson of the new Black Panther Party, and hopefully we can get him on at a later date. But apparently something came up, and so things come up, but we got to keep it moving. So that is, it's, I would say, challenge yourself to come up with a plan, because it's just a matter of time before you get stopped by the bully cop. It's just a matter of time before your daughter or son gets stopped by the bully cop. It is not a plan to stay in the house and behind closed doors and don't go nowhere and don't do nothing. That ain't no plan. That's fear. And so God did not give us the spirit of fear, okay? But the power, he gave us the power, the spirit of power and love and a sound mind. And that sound mind needs to come up with a plan of action, so we can be ready and we can stay ready. And that's, what I want to say is, if you are in a situation where you are supporting organizations, you're part of organizations, and you can't name and put your finger on anything that they've done to help better your situation, better your community, to help you in any way, to help your people who look like you in any way, then it's time for us to stop just supporting people just because. whether that's politically, whether that's socially, whether that's one of my friends, he actually said to me that every year he goes through his Rolodex on his phone, his phone, electronic phone book, whatever they call it these days. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And he just goes through and says, how has this person enhanced my life? And if that person has not enhanced his life in the past year, 6 months, he deletes them. And so I think I'm still in his Rolodex because I've heard from him in 2022. And so that's just something that we have to do. We got too much baggage. We got too much emotional baggage that we are carrying around, and it's not helping us individually, and it's not helping us as a group of people. And I know that some of the things, I will say this about traditional civil rights organizations. They have done good. They have gotten us to the point where we have so many options that we no longer seem cohesive. We now can work in different places. We can get paid different salaries that we couldn't get before. We can go to Harvard and Yale, and we don't even think about Howard or Dillard or FAMU. That's my alarm telling me I need to be getting on off here. So I got about 5, 6 more minutes. And so our options, we don't have to just stick to the same person to date and marry. We now have options to date and marry outside of our race, outside of our culture. We don't have to stay in our neighborhood. We can now live over in the neighborhoods considered to be white people's neighborhoods, as long as it ain't too many of us. As long as you get there first and you don't invite some of your friends, then you okay. So we are starting to move beyond where these traditional organizations had taken us. But now, is it to the demise of us as a group of people moving forward? That's the question. So I just suggest that we reevaluate. I remember, and then my alarm went off, so I got to be hurrying up. I remember when, we wouldn't go out the house, we wouldn't do certain things unless we looked a certain way. Because we didn't just represent, Steffanie just doesn't represent Steffanie. Steffanie represents her family, her mama and daddy, her grandparents, her community, her school, her church. I represented some people who put some time and effort into me. And I just don't think that we think like that anymore. And I apologize because I already did my makeup. And I don't need to be crying because I don't have time to do it again. But anyway, we need to get back to some commonalities in our family. And that's all I got to say because I got to go. I can't. So, to find out more about the things that I care about, go to the written version of my journal, and that's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and have